Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at 6 games here that are animal themed, or there's animals in them. And we're going to talk about them and give them some short reviews. Not much more to say about that, other than we are split evenly today between cats and dogs. Who's going to win? Let's find out. Pocket Cats is a 2-player game, a mischievous paw-to-paw duel. In this, you're going to take a group of cats and try to catch some prey while avoiding dogs. See, there's dogs in here too. Dogs are the bad guys, I guess. So let's check it out. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to pick a team of cats. And so you can play with these special abilities here that the cats have on them. But what's important is you are going to get 5 tiles for those cats. Each cat clan is worth 5 tiles. You'll shuffle those with some dog tiles and some prey tiles, and you'll put them in a face-down grid. You'll turn this one face up in the middle, whatever happens to be. This happens to be a cat who's worth value 4 from the Gourmet clan. So on a player's turn, they're going to take any tile they want and turn it face up. They're then going to move it based on what kind of thing it is. So if it's a cat, you can move it 1 or 2 spaces, switching it with another one in the same column. So I'll just move it 1 and do this. Kind of hard to tell. So if it's prey, you can move it 1 space in any direction. So I'm going to move this one here. Why am I moving it here? Because I want my cats adjacent to it, because this will be worth 4 points at the end of the game if I was the green player. This is a dog. Dogs at the end of the game are going to attack cats that are next to them. And this lets you move the dog anywhere in the same row or column. So since it's my opponent who played it, they're going to move it here so that it attacks this cat. And you're just going to take turns flipping these tiles over and moving them. At the end of the game, the first thing is all dogs will attack. And they're going to take out all the cats where their arrows are pointing at them. So that one gets taken out by 2 dogs. This one takes out this cat. And that's it. The rest of the cats survive. Then you go to each prey tile. Oh, no, that one. Yeah, this prey tile here is gotten by the orange team. Both of these go to the orange team. That one no one gets. This one here goes to the green team. This one goes to the... This one has... Oh, no one gets it because there's 2 2s next to it. But the orange team gets this one. The green team gets this one. The green team gets this one. And you're going to add up points. There's a few things. The fly here is worth 3. But if you get the 3 and the 4, hey, instead of 7, they're worth 12. And the same thing with the chickens. Rather than being worth 7, they're worth 10. Whoever has the most points is the winner. Don't forget, though, there's also extra things they can do. The clan chief can catch diagonally adjacent prey. Normally, you can't do diagonal ones. But in this case, the green clan could. And these have the same value, and they just have different special abilities that you can use. There's a lot I like in Pocket Cats. I really like the art. I really like the special abilities. I like the idea of the game. At the end of the day, though, I'm giving it a 6.5, just shy of a 7, because it's just not long enough. Games are pretty short, and your hands are pretty tied after a point. Yeah, you can make a few clever moves. But the game feels like there needs to be a bit more oomph there to it. Maybe setting up, I don't know. I like the concept. It is pocket, sort of. It's a big game to put in your pocket, but you can carry it in there. And it's neat to see the special abilities, although people will probably argue that some special abilities are better than others. I like the switching the tiles, and sometimes you're like, and yes, I now take this and put this dog here. But that's more of a result of, hey, I got lucky. And so because of that, yeah, like I said, just shy of me wanting to play it more often. But it's interesting, and if I was in a game, I certainly wouldn't complain because, again, it says 15 minutes on here, and that's pretty accurate. That's Pocket Cats. Check it out. Furmation of Rome. Okay, this one's all cats. And this one has a horrific name, the Furmation of Rome. Anyway, you're stepping in a role of a Roman noble. Here's the thing. There's no reason for there even to be cats in this. It has nothing to do with cats. If they were, all right, just look out, please. In this game, there's a deck of cards that are made up of citizens and monuments. And you're going to have 3 cards out here in the trail. You'll also have a handful of 3 cards. On your turn, you can either play a card, a citizen. So when you play a citizen, you can either settle it, put it in front of you, it's now one of your citizens, or you can do the action on it. Look at our player's hand, discard a card from it. Why would I not rather do that than play this in front of me? If after playing cards, you have more of that type than anyone else, you'll take one of this token. Someone else can take that from me if they get 2 legionnaires. You can also play monuments. These will be worth a point at the end of the game if you satisfy their requirements. This one, for example, needs 2 legionnaires and a consul in front of you. And you can, if you're playing with 4 players or more, you have brigands, which you play in front of somebody else, and whoever has most of them gets this token, which is worth -1 point. And then you will draw back up to 3. So you can see a farmer doesn't do anything. You can only settle a farmer in front of you. Here I can discard any 2 monuments from any players. You keep going till the deck is gone completely. Then everyone settles everything left in their hand. You score points. 1 point for each token, except for this one, which is -1 point. And then 1 point for each monument where you meet the requirements. Most points is the winner. Like I said, you take cats out, put humans in, so why is it cats? Things shouldn't just be cats to be cats. All right, well, taking that out. It's a pretty bad game. It's pretty boring. Really boring. You are playing a card to do the action, which is almost not, it's almost always better to settle because you want groups to get those tokens and groups to score the monuments. Having a card that says discard a card from your opponent's hand, who cares? And then cards that make them get rid of 2 monuments, they're just such mean take that. It's too fast of a game. It really goes through pretty quickly. The point scores are too low, and all the humans look like cats. That's not a good combo. There's lots of games of set collection and things like this that I think might be worth it. This one, unfortunately, just doesn't do it by itself. So, boo, I don't really like it. 4 out of 10, Furmation of Rome. Squeaky. Hey, it's squirrels now. Squeaky, you are a squirrel. And by the way, this company here, Gation Games, they make the cutest looking games. They've made them about llamas and other animals. Here they had squirrels. Just fantastic art. In this game, you are collecting resources, a little bit of a push your luck style. Here's how it plays. In this game, there are 5 types of food. Each player is going to secretly start with 1 type of food in their hole, in their home. You have your board in front of you. There's a big deck of cards here. There's going to be a certain number of food cards in that deck based on the number of players and a certain number of acorns over here. Players are going to take turns. On your turn, you'll pick 1 type of food in the middle. Let's say I take the bones. I'll take these 2 bones and I can put them in my house and then I will just draw replacements. Or you can take all of 1 food type, maybe this one for example, and throw it away and get an acorn. Acorns are limited, and again that's replaced. So we just take turns again taking them and either discarding them all for an acorn or putting them in front of you like this. As the game goes by, season cards are going to show up. When there's a season card that is shuffled in the deck will come, it will replace one of the cards here, meaning there's fewer options for the first 2 season cards. And when the 3rd one shows up, that's the end of the game. At the end of the game, players are going to reveal all the cards that they have, and for each of the different types of food, you're going to count how many cards you have of that type. If you have none, you get -4. If you have 6 or more, you get -4. Your sweet spot is to get exactly 4. That's worth 8 points. Add together your points for the 5 totals, remembering that acorns can be used as a wild food, so you could even use it to replace a missing food if you don't have one at all. Most points is the winner. So this game has sort of push your luck and sort of memory, because you're not allowed to look at the cards that you put down in front of you, so you need to keep track of them. But the game isn't particularly long. I can count the number of peanuts I've taken and the number of Oreos I've taken as the game goes by. It's not particularly complex. So, yes, the game has the one clever thing is discarding cards to take an acorn. And you want to take an acorn because they're wild. And if you discard 1 to get an acorn, that's not so bad. But at the same time, you're trying to get all 5 foods, which is important to do. And you want to get that magical number of 2 or 4 is the best number. I like that aspect, but the game is just too quick for me to get that excited about it. Each time I played, it's kind of samey. I played a 2-player version of this. It goes to 5. And it was just over before it felt like we really did anything. And it didn't feel like we had any real strong choices to make. Each time I play this, it's like, well, you take, if there's 3 of the same food out there, why wouldn't you take that? You're like, oh, you'll be forced to take food later on. You're never forced to take food later on. So at the beginning, take as much as you can, and then at the end, just take, I don't know. It's fine. It's interesting. And like I said, fantastic artwork. But Squeaky just gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Takenokolor. Now it's pandas. Takenoko is a very popular game. It's all about pandas eating bamboo. So, hey, let's talk about let's make a roll and write. And let's, what else should we do? Well, they decided to make markers that you could roll. Each player is going to get one of the same sheets. I'm showing you all 4 sheets that are in the box that are ranked from 2 level difficulty to 4. Why not have a 1? I don't know either. Anyway, they're all going to play somewhat similar. They have different rules for scoring. But each round of the game, you're going to roll these markers. Each marker is a color, obviously, and they show a different symbol on it. So this is a triangle for the green one. And this one is, well, you can't read the yellow once you get really close, also a triangle. When you take that, you get the color in a section that matches that. So here on the base one, for example, if I take a green square, I really don't have a lot of options. I have to color in the bottom of this bamboo because you got to grow them from the ground up, which isn't any points at all. But if I color in the third one, it's going to be worth 4 points. If you finish a section with a ladybug, those are going to be worth extra points at the end of the game too. In this one, if I fill an entire cloud, I can color any 2 sections of a bamboo with 2 with blue. And if I complete the sun, I'll get 5 points. This will change as you can catch fish, but only once you filled in a section of the river here. Only the first person to finish this area is going to get points. Here you're moving upriver, and some of these bamboo are going to be multiplied by the number of ponds you have here at the top. And the dragon has special rules, the fireworks. So it's more complex, but you're going to keep doing that until one player has circled 3 ladybugs on their board, and that will end the game. Whoever has the most points is the winner. Okay, let's talk about the look of the game is great. Fine. Other than it's really weird that they have that 2, 3, 4 panda levels, but whatever. The markers are a problem. They really are. They're going to run out. You are literally coloring sections with them. And when the marker runs out, what are you supposed to do? These rolling things go directly on the marker. I suppose you get another blue marker and then roll that. You have the dead blue marker, which you roll, and the live blue marker, which you fill out. Not a huge thing. Also, and this is maybe more of a minor thing, but if you're going to have these big pads of paper here, why are they white on one side? That just seems like you're wasting space in this box. It's a pretty big box for a roll and write. The basic version of Takenokolor is too simple. So the one that's 2 pandas. It's just kind of boring. And each one gets successively less boring, but not that big of a deal. You kind of go, I guess I'll take this color. Reiner Knizia put out a trilogy of these games earlier this year that did the same thing. You rolled pencils and wrote them, and I think all 3 of those games are better than Takenokolor, unfortunately. It's not bad, but I also don't want to play it again. This one gets a 5.5. It's just kind of in the middle there. It's hovering on there because it looks nice. It's a great cover, and the idea of coloring is fun. But the first one, while it's super simple, and I might have said, hey, it's a kid's game, but then the other 3 are a little too complex for kids. This one's a pass. That's Takenokolor. Zoomies. Well, the most notable thing about Zoomies is it taught me that this word exists. I guess I've heard people use it before, but I had to look it up, and now I know that Zoomies is when your dog runs around like a wild thing for no reason at all. And I always just called it being a moron, but what do you know? But hey, dogs. This is a dog park, and it's basically a domino-style game where you're trying to make groups of dogs. Here's how it plays. In this game, players are going to be playing these double-sided tiles that have different dogs on them. Each player is going to have 8 tokens of their color in this game. Each of the tokens is double-sided, so they can be used in different ways. You have a handful of 2 tiles, and on your turn, you place 1 tile, and then you're going to draw up again. Now, when you place a tile, one of the dogs must match a dog already on the table. Now, this is important because dogs of the same type are in a group together. After you place this, you must put a token on that tile if possible, or you discard a token. It's up to you. Now, the different tokens are going to do different things. This one is a leader. This says at the end of the game, for each dog in this pack, so let's say there's another tile here like this,
you're going to get a point. So 3 points for that one. If this token is here, the one with the bone, then for each bone, you're going to get 2 points for dogs in that pack. And you can see as the game goes by, you're going to try to build your packs up and make them bigger. Like this one here. Whew, that's a lot of Chihuahuas. And this would be worth 4 points, while the leader dog would be worth 1. Only one of each type of token can be in a group. If I put this in the group and someone else plays a tile later on, they can take the bones of that same group. The friendship group, you pick a friendship, a group of the same color, of a different one next to it. So this says, I point this at the poodles. So then for every poodle that this group is touching, I'm going to get 2 points. And then finally, there's Zoomies. Some dogs are zooming around. They have these paws on them. So when you play the Zoomie tile, 2 things happen. First of all, you get to play your second tile because dogs start running around like mad. But Zoomies act like a pack of dogs of different breeds. So these are in the same group there, and you're just going to get points at the end of the game based on the number of dogs in the group. Get 5 Zoomie dogs together, you get 15 points. Each player is going to do this 8 times for each of their 8 tokens, and then whoever has the most points at the end of the game is the winner.
I would like to talk to the people who picked the dogs for this game, because while I'm glad to see Huskies and Beagles in there, why are Chihuahuas and Poodles objectively the 2 worst dogs in existence in this game? They might not be the 2 worst, but they're definitely in the bottom 5%. Where are my Golden Retrievers and Black Labradors and Newfoundlands and German Shepherds and anyhow. That being said, it's dogs, right? The one interesting thing that this game does is it has you making groups of these different colors, and you put out a tile. I like that. But then there's also groups of Zoomies, which kind of transcend the different types of dogs. They're all the dogs just start running around the dog park together. This game is fine. It says 30 minutes on here. That's a little long. I think maybe a 4-player game is 30 minutes, but 2 or 3-player game, you're going to probably get it done faster than that. It's pretty quick. You put out a tile, you put out tokens. Scoring will take longer than most of the game, just by counting up all the points. But it's simple and it's fun, and it's going to appeal to a lot of people. I'm not giving it a 7 because I just found it to be fine, but I do understand that a lot of people might enjoy this, especially I could see this game being an excellent game to put on the shelves of like Target and stores like that. So it's a 6 out of 10 for me personally. I didn't dislike it, but it was just kind of, no, it's interesting. But that's about it. I do applaud that being a dog game. There needs to be more dog games. I do notice that the 2 evil dogs, the Chihuahua and the Poodle, are on the side so that they don't desecrate the cover here. And now I fully expect to get emails from people who own those dogs. Zoomies, if you like dominoes and you like dogs, huzzah for you. This bet is mine. This is a game from Broadway Games, and it's about cats versus dogs here. And in this game, it's sort of a polyomino game where you are placing pieces down in a grid. Let me show you. The board here is raised, and that's going to allow players to place number tokens on it. And players have numbers from 1 to 9 in either dog or cat. The cat player is going to go first, and they're going to place up to their 4 number on the board. And then after that, you can kind of go wherever you want, as long as you're placing legitimate spots on the board. See the 6 or whatever. The 9 can't go here, can't go there. So maybe I'll place it there. Dog places one there. Cat, etc. It can get a little tricky as to figure out where exactly you can place things on this board, but at some point, people aren't going to be able to place spots on the board anymore. And then when you can't place one of your pieces on the board, you're going to pass. When both players pass, the game is going to end. Once the game ends, we're going to start counting any spot that's 2 or more spaces in it. So let's say these 2 spaces here. That's going to score 2 points for one of the players. Which one? Well, there's a 4 next to the space and a 9. Dogs have 9. Dogs win. This really big space here, that's all over the place. Well, that one's actually, it's enclosed in the walls. So I would add up all the numbers next to it and add up all the cat numbers and dog numbers, and whoever's higher is going to get that many points. That's pretty much the game. Whoever has most points wins. There are some pillow pieces
that you can play that will block things at the beginning of the game. And some of these tokens that players can get, that's kind of an added variant. But that's essentially how you play.
I was very intrigued with this game when I first heard about it. The idea of having a tail sticking on the piece to put it in, that's a cute thing. And I like the idea of these numbers. This is not the first game that's done this. There's number, without a U, number 9, in which you are placing numbers down as polyominoes. This has some similarities. But this falls apart for me for a lot of reasons. One, it's just too much work. It really is. To put these numbers down and to figure out what number goes where. You're just thinking, how do these fit in? And I can't tell you the number of times when I play this with people. It's a 2-player game, so it's pretty easy to play. And you put the number down, oh, that doesn't fit there. Oh, that doesn't fit there. That doesn't fit there. Oh, it fits there. But that's not where I want it. And the 8, which is pretty strong, it's not like the 8 is that much more objectively harder to get in than the 7. And the scoring at the end I found to be, okay, here we go. Let's go through scoring. This section here. Okay, who has the most numbers surrounding it? Oh, wait, this section goes over here. And it just felt like a slog to play. It's a cute theme. I'll say the advanced game adds a little bit more interesting things to it, but it just doesn't, most games where you're trying to surround people, let's use the classic Go, and you're trying to make these lines and things, you're focused on the strategy, not can I even get the piece in. And I think this bet is mine. You're focused too much on that. So for that, I really can't recommend it, and I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Well, there you go, folks. We got dogs and cats, just dogs, just cats and some dogs, then pandas and squirrels. That's a lot of different animals there. I know I didn't necessarily love on any of these games, but maybe you do like some of them a lot. Let us know in the comments and check them out. Great art for sure on many of these games, so I'm glad for that. Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower. We review lots of different games here. We hope you check out some more of them. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been the Dice Tower. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.